Here is a question for all of you literary people out there. What do all of these books, which include Michael Crichton's Andromeda Strain, Angus Wilson's Anglo-Saxon Attitudes, Aldous Huxley's Chrome Yellow, Emily Davenport's Shade, Tom Clancy's The Hunt for Red October, William Golding's Lord of the Flies, Margaret Atwood's The Edible Woman, and Kingsley Amis's Lucky Jim, what do these all have in common? Well, these are all debut novels. Yes, in that, these are the books that started everybody's career and such, and which were at a point very hard to sell. Especially this one, because of all the techno-babble and such in it. But eventually, if I can just stop toppling these things over here, they did sell all these novels, and afterwards, most of these authors, actually pretty much all of them, have went on to establish very venerable careers for themselves, wrote many novels, and some of which are still, or actually maybe one of which is still, some of which are still maybe, and most of them are dead, but the point is, they got past their first novel, and, have been writing ever since that point on, and really never felt the need to bask in their own, I suppose, fame, fortune, that was produced from their debut. Right, so, now we present this little number. This is Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell by Susanna Clarke. This is also a debut novel. It's thick as hell, for some reason. That's her right there. Yeah, you can see it's her first novel. And do any of you happen to know whether she has written anything since? This came out I believe it came out in 2004. 2004 this book is copyrighted. It's 2018 now, so about 14 years since her debut. I don't believe she's published anything since. The same goes for, what's his name, Nathaniel Hill, with his novel The Nix, which was published 2 years ago, 2016, has written a bloody thing since. And then this, whatever her name is, T. Obret, who's written her novel, The Tiger's Wife, and which was her debut, and she's not written a damn thing since. So let me ask you all, why is it that all these debut novelists feel it important to, I suppose, bask in the glory of their first real literary achievement, and not go on further with their career? They just seem to be stuck in this sort of cycle of, this book will sell enough copies to sustain me for the rest of my life. To Kill a Mockingbird also was her first novel that didn't receive any other, from that author, any other installments until the year after her death, or the year before, I can't remember. But what I'm saying is, the reason why I don't like many first novelists is that, as I said, they don't seem to get work done after their first. Their first is their last, in a sense. Let me show you something. This right here is my debut novel, Why Am I Forever Unloved? This is the makings of it, you could see there. I'm typing it out as we speak, and hopefully I shall maybe find a publisher for it, and it should be out perhaps by the summer of next year. And I've finished this, you can see that's the time on which I started and the time on which I finished, and I've actually started another novel, and will continue to write more novels consecutively. These authors really don't feel obligated to do that, and it's infuriating to most of the literary scene, most aspiring writers who really are just trying to get their first novel out there, just to find that most of these debut novelists are so indolent and do not in any way seem to go about their profession as they should. And yet they receive all sorts of profuse respect for this novel, not this novel, but for their first novel, yet nobody really does state the fact that they probably will never go on to write anything else. And that in itself is sad. It really is. So, my advice to you, if you are an aspiring writer, write. Just write. And once you complete a novel, you complete writing, whether it by hand or typing, and once you send it off to a publisher, and once they do accept it, if they accept it, even before that, once you actually finish the first draft, start on another one. Because I can guarantee you that reading public, if they were to read your novel, depending on what subject matter it is, will want some more from you. And most likely, the publisher would also want more from you. So, to all the first novelists out there, get back on your horse and get back to bloody work. And I suppose that's the end of my rant. So, yeah, I've not read this book, actually. It was recommended to me by my aunt, but who is this, actually? She wrote this novel, and has written about 10 more since. Has another one set to come out soon. But anyway, that's my last video for the day. I realize I made too many. And M.L. Stedman's another one too, who wrote Light Between Oceans, and has not written a damn thing since. And just get on with it, people.